Hi, today we're going to be taking a look at why you might get this stepped edge effect on your crochet and you just can't seem to get your edges to run straight. It's a really easy mistake to fix, and I'm going to show you exactly how we can get nice straight edges like this. So I'm just going to work along to the end of this row to show you first of all what you're probably doing, and then I'll show you what you need to be doing just to make a nice straight row. And it's actually a lot simpler than you might first think. So we're just working our way along to the end here. We're coming up to the edge of our work and we've placed our hook into what looks like the last stitch before we turn. It's the last obvious stitch here before we turn. Then what you're probably doing is chaining and turning your work here and starting to work your way back along. But you can see you've got already, just from this one row of missing this very last stitch, an obvious step in our work. Can you see that there? So what we're going to do is just undo this chain and go back to the previous stitch so I can show you what you're looking for. So we're going to yarn over and do our last but one treble stitch. Now we need to look for the very end stitch, and it is super easy to miss. It's here, right in here. You've got another stitch in here, and it is hidden and it is hard to find, and you kind of feel like I've come to the end of my row but I haven't done enough stitches, so I'll pop another stitch into this end hole to keep my count up. No, that's not what you should be doing. You should be looking for your very last stitch, and you can see it's a stitch here when you pop your hook in, and have a look, it splits into a V. Okay, so we're now going to place our stitch into that last stitch from the row below, and you can see already we've got a nice straight edge without that stepped effect that we've just looked at. Now the other thing that's really important before you turn your row is to chain 2, because this is going to act as your little ladder to lift you up to your next row. If you forget to chain 2 and you just go into doing your next stitch, yes, you might be able to find the first stitch and pop it in here, but without that chain 2 your work is going to shrink again. So it's really important that we remember to do that chain 2. Can you see the difference there? Without doing a chain 2, it kind of gives us like an extra stitch coming out the other way. So let me just show you what I mean. I don't know about you, but I learn visually, and this, if someone had have shown me this when I was first learning, it would have saved a lot of frustration. So we're going to chain 2. That's going to give us our nice straight edge. We're going to turn our work and we're going to stitch back into our first stitch to start our next row. We're going to move along to the next stitch and so on. And here you can see we've got a nice straight row, nice straight edges. Can you see the difference between this one where we've chained 2 and found the last stitch to this one where we've missed the last stitch? And ultimately, if we carry on like this, our work's just going to come into a big triangle, which is not what we want. We want nice straight edges like this one, where our work's going to carry on travelling up and you'll have a nice even number of stitches on each row. I really hope that's helped you. In our next video, we're going to have a little look at what happens if we chain and miss a stitch, how that will give us baggy and gappy edges. So if this has helped you, maybe stay tuned for the next video, which may just help you a little bit more.